Okay, so I'm here. I'm about to have a chat with Sam Kelly. Good drummer doesn't cut it. This guy, in my opinion, is awesome, is a legend. I'm going to speak to him now. Okay. Can you just begin by just telling me a little bit about what drew you to the drums, why you started, and about your beginning.
Okay. Unlike a lot of my contemporaries who started playing drums because they were inspired by a particular drummer or a particular style of music, because I grew up in the 60s, and obviously it was one of the highlights and heydays of British pop and music going around. It didn't, all that didn't really interest me, other than going out to parties and dancing to it, and as a player it didn't occur. Anyway, I started playing drums, using it as a therapy, as a physical therapy thing.
Yeah.
Because drums, being what they are, a very physical instrument, you hit drums. And at the time, I was 18, 19, going through that period, and I was always angry. At what exactly, I don't know, but I was angry. All the time, I was angry. And I was hitting drums to get rid of that anger rather than go out and have fights and have fun with it. So that it came from that. So it was more anger management, I call it.
It does make you feel good hitting the drums.
It felt coming off, you know, playing it, pushing on a bit from the gig, but coming off after you've physically played drums and also interacted with the other musicians. It's a wonderful feeling. That's what, before we started to interact, obviously, but that's what I started to play, was just to get rid of that anger, just to kind of physically get rid of that anger.
Okay.
That's how I started.
I can relate to that totally. You've had a huge career, a varied career. You've worked with lots of amazing people. But if you had to pick one thing or one moment as a highlight to this date, what would you choose and what would you talk about?
Okay, I'm not being disrespectful to all the other people I've worked with, but when you get to work with people that you admired before you started playing drums, because I used to go out in the 60s, I said I used to go out to parties and listen to soul music and black music in that era. And I ended up working with a lot of the artists I used to listen to, like people like Benny King, Dorothy Moore. I ended up being in a house band for one of those tours that went on in about 20 years ago, 25 years ago. And I was in the house band, and on stage would come, as I say, Dorothy Moore, Eddie Floyd, and just sitting there and playing behind these people was wow. I couldn't believe, because normally when I play with other people, I'm not really that impressed.
Yeah.
To me, it's just they put their trousers on one leg at a time, just like I do. But on this occasion, I was completely in awe of these people. And they were just such nice people as well, because they could have been the prima donna, they could have acted as a prima donna, but they didn't. They just embraced me, and I was looking at them and just...
Okay, so I'm going to ask you now the big question. The question that I would like to ask you is, in your opinion, what is it that you consider, how you define what being a good drummer is, and what makes a good drummer for you?
Okay, in my opinion, what makes a good drummer is someone who will go in without any preconceived notion of what they should be playing, and just let what's going on around them and what the vibe that they get from the other musicians dictate what they play. It doesn't matter whether you've been playing 40 years or you've been playing 4 years. It's what you bring to the table. It's that ability of 4 years of playing or 40 years of playing. That's what you bring. That's what you are.
Yes.
And it's just that interaction. If you let yourself interact with the other musicians, that's what's really important.
And
not just be a timekeeper for them, and not just be a platform to them to bounce off.
And we were talking last time, I remember, about listening, interpreting.
Absolutely.
And
That's all comes with, once you kind of hopefully develop a rapport with the other musicians, you can then bounce off each other. It's like having a conversation.
Yeah.
So someone you just met, is either it works or it doesn't work. Most often it will work because there's some kind of attraction there that brings you together in the first place. With music and playing, that's the attraction. You're all musicians, and that brings you together. So you have that as the platform. And then hopefully the other people are open to what you bring to the table, just like you're open to what they bring to the table. The last point on this is, anybody can sound, to me, if you've rehearsed with a band, anybody can sound good. Anybody can. But for me, the biggest criteria is going in cold, so to speak, and reacting with those other musicians and reacting to the music and seeing at that moment what you produce together, because that will be quite unique.
Leading on from that, who are the drummers that you admire, either that influenced you or that you can say that person is a good drummer, in my opinion?
There's not that many, to be honest. It's not that from guys that I actually know, because I'm going. But let's say my criteria is someone who doesn't necessarily go off technique. It's what they bring, listening wise, their ability wise, their willingness to interact with other musicians. One of my top drummers is a guy called Richard Bailey. I just think he's just an amazing musician. I've known Richard for many years, and I've watched him over the years with different bands. The other person who I admire, I've never met him, but I admire his versatility, is Steve Gadd. Mm-hmm. He can play. One minute you see him in a jazz situation, you see him in a New Orleans situation. It's similar sort of thing with Richard. Is to be this kind of musician who's willing to go and try anything, and then bring themselves to the party, to express themselves. That for me is what's important. It's not how good you are rehearsed. It's how good you are when you're not rehearsed.
When you're thrown in.
Yeah, and the people out there, and the audience out there, don't realise this. Because really, for me, one of the biggest shame things that people, on drums tonight or on guitar tonight, well, he's just sitting in tonight for the first time. I don't want to know that. I do not want to know that.
Yeah.
Because that then points up to that person.
It flags them up.
Yeah, he's doing the best he can. No. Well, he is doing the best he can, but don't let the audience know that. If I paid £10 to get it, I don't want to know that.
Yes.
If he's not good, doesn't matter where he's sitting in for the night or he's not sitting in. If he's not good, he's not good. Don't point that out. And
I'm going to finish by asking, after the beep, we'll edit that bit out, is what, to someone that's learning, obviously in this case the drums, or to someone with not as much experience, what advice would you give them? What one thing would you say to someone to keep in mind, to consider on their journey?
Enjoy your playing.
Yeah.
Enjoy your playing, and don't let other people, whoever they are, bring you down. If they're having a bad day, don't let them bring you down. Enjoy your playing.
Oh, love that. That is an answer. That is a brilliant answer. Enjoy it. Keep your vibe. Because why did we begin the drums?
Yeah.
Because we enjoy it. Because we love doing it.
Exactly.
Don't let anyone take that away from you.
No. If they're having a bad time, let them get over it. If you can help in any way, then fine. But if they're going to bring you down, don't let them.
That's brilliant.
Ignore them. Don't play with them. If it comes to it, don't work them. Leave it. Enjoy what you're doing.
Sam Kelly, pearls of wisdom there. Sam Kelly, come on. High five, respect. I tell you, Sam Kelly in the house, thank you for doing this. He's great.
My friend over there was Jerome Marcus as well.
Jerome.
Yeah, another drummer, percussionist. Yeah.
Two awesome musicians, one learner drummer, and we're all happy and we're all enjoying it, I hope. Okay. Laters. Rock and roll, we're still running. I've got to edit this out. Well, maybe I won't. This might be the end bit. Loving Sam.